Welcome to the Honeymoon Mindset Podcast. Even with kids, you can have a honeymoon mindset. We are your hosts,
Kimberly Mullen.
and James Deppa. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Honeymoon Mindset with Kids. I am James, and co-host Kimberly Mullins. How are you doing, Kimberly?
I'm great. How are you today?
Doing well.
Good, good.
Just trying to, this time of year, fit 10 things into one.
It is such a busy time of year, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But somehow we survive and move on.
Definitely. Seems like it comes around quicker every year.
Oh, yeah. And all the ads on TV and all the publicity starts so much sooner every year.
Oh,
And kids get excited and everything.
seriously, this year I went to go get Halloween decorations, and there were more Christmas decorations than there were Halloween. I'm like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I remember was it September or August when I was looking at stuff for my kid's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And there's already Christmas stuff out then. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
and some it's already, everything else is already 30% off, 40% off. Even some of the Christmas stuff was on clearance or sale or whatever you want to call it. It's like,
Right.
let's just do one holiday at a time.
Seriously, it's all I can handle. And now I have my son whose birthday is 10 days before Christmas. So I'm like, I got to get through his birthday and Christmas.
Yeah, so true. Wow.
So, James, I'm curious. Did you have any traditions when you were growing up that you then did with your children as well? As around the holidays, especially Christmas?
We did. Growing up well, my dad was a pastor, so growing up in the church, we had everything there to help the church get set up. In our house, usually a week or so after Christmas or Thanksgiving. Now I'm getting the holidays mixed up already. We'd decorate the house together as a family
Nice.
and everything. So we try to go caroling, and we also have a couple baking days. And that's really about it. I mean, not too much because kids are in school.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are busy. Not much. But when my kids were younger, we decorated a week or the same weekend as Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And got them all excited and everything. But there's one year we did not put up a tree. We
Really?
didn't put up any decorations because sometimes the kids got so, I want this.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Fleet Farm came out with their huge toy catalog that they
Oh,
that they mailed out, and who else? There was another toy catalog. Was it Toys R Us that used to mail one out, and the kids would
Toys
sit.
R Us had a huge one.
Yeah, they would sit there and flip through it. I want this. I want this.
Mm-hmm.
So that year, I didn't put up a tree. I said, nope, we're not doing it. Well, why?
We're not falling for this.
Yeah, they're like, why not? Because a lot of times kids get into this I want so quick because of all the ads on TV, the media, social media. The friends are talking about, all the decorations, everything are out so much earlier every year, so they get so hyped. And Santa gets, you got to write your letter to Santa, all that stuff. So one year, I just made a manger and said, there we go. That's our Christmas tree. What? Why are we doing that? Excuse me. Because Christmas isn't about getting.
Nope.
Christmas is about giving. And I remember one year I read we talked about the Passover at Christmas time. And we talked about what that meant and how it's related to Christmas in the religious world and stuff. Because I know not everybody is. And I'm not trying to push religion. This is just the way I grew up and what we did.
Right.
And the kids are like, why are we reading this, Dad? Why are we doing this? Talking about...
This has got to do with Santa bringing me gifts.
Exactly. It's like I'm all for Santa, and I love the fun and the the cute displays at the mall and stuff, because I used to be a mall coordinator, so I used to do all that. But
Nice.
I wanted my kids to realize, to get them out of that I want stage or that I want mentality. No, we have to talk about what's given. And if you look at the biblical story of Jesus and what, died on the cross, it's like he came so he can give his all. Just like us, we need to give. Even though we don't have, we can still give something. And what we get in return should never be more important than being able to give.
Absolutely.
So to get kids ready for the holiday season, it's like, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it so that we can help people around us? And as you and I both know, with kids, life gets so busy.
It does.
Especially who are involved in church Christmas programs that your kids have to be part of, if that's your thing, or even special programs for schools, or if they're part of any, like I know your kids are into gymnastics or just for kicks or anything like that. They usually have a Christmas program or something going on too. And just all the other community things that you might want to partake in as a family.
Right.
And of course, you can't forget, you have to drive around and look at Christmas lights.
That's a must.
Yeah.
We save that for Christmas Eve. That's our thing.
Yeah. Especially when you can find one that's hooked up to a really good sound music and it goes right along. That's awesome how they do that.
That is fun. I know when I was little, my mom always took us to drive around and look at the lights. And back then it was like, ooh, they put lights around their whole outline of their house. That's huge.
Yep.
Now you got turn to this channel and listen and watch the whole show. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's still part of our traditions for sure. And my daughter was just saying, because, being a traveling family, a lot of times we're in different areas. And this is our first year in Oregon for the holidays. And so we were driving through the next town over, and she's like, can we come into this town on Christmas Eve? I want to see what the lights are like here. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Yeah.
But I love what you're saying about giving, and I do my best for sure to make sure that my kids grow up knowing it's not just about getting gifts. And I am very fortunate to say it has sunk in.
That's good.
My kids do get very excited to get their gifts, don't get me wrong, and they're very happy about it. But I see a special light in them when they're handing out the gifts they're giving. And they're never told that they have to give gifts. But they will either, honestly, right now, my husband has the kids at the Dollar Tree.
Oh, nice.
Because they asked him, can you please take us to the Dollar Tree today so we can pick out gifts for everyone with our own money?
Oh, wow.
Which is wonderful. Last year, they literally went into their toys and picked out their old toys and wrapped them up and gave them to each other and to me and Dad and Grandma. And they just light up when they watch you open it, and they get so excited. So I know that giving spirit is in there for sure.
Yeah.
And that makes me very happy that they, honestly, especially my oldest, but I see it in my middle one as well, they're definitely more excited to give than to get.
Yeah, the other thing we started with our kids, we haven't been consistent in the last couple of years because they're all older and it's just Beth and I, and life gets busy. But we started, Beth and us, we want to help out the local soup kitchen too. We've done that a couple of times, and we've just loved it. And it was it's an eye-opening. It's real awkward at first, but that's not the point. You get to help somebody in need.
Exactly.
And the other thing is that we started every weekend, we made little gift baskets of cookies and Christmas treats and stuff, and we handed them out to all our neighbors.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that.
And we just put a note, here's something, if you're able to eat it, to help cheer your holidays up. If you can, please pass it on to somebody who may be able to enjoy it. And we just do it, ding dong door ditch or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
We don't do it to get recognition. We don't do it to say, "Oh, look what we did."
Right.
We do it because we get to see their faces. Sometimes we get to see their faces when they come up. They're like looking around, and
Mm-hmm.
just to see the kids' face, they see it, they get it. Oh, look at their faces, And then it becomes a talk
That's
of the neighborhood for
awesome.
a couple weeks afterwards or whatever. Did you
Right.
do it? Say, no, I don't know it. Yeah, we got one too. Yeah,
Because we made ourselves one, but
of course.
um,
So we
one
made
oh, go
all the
ahead,
nice
sorry.
baskets, and then we put them on nice little trays or whatever, and put them in nice cellophane wrap and stuff, and nice bows, and we do it all up nice and deliver it at night.
You can't get away with that now. Everybody has those
Oh yeah,
doorbell cameras now.
true.
But I do love that. One thing I miss about living in San Diego is there was a woman there who coordinated what she called Christmas Under the Bridge. And
Mm,
she had a very strong connection to the homeless community in San Diego. And she would reach out to her friends that were homeless that she had met through the years,
uh
and
huh.
they would spread the word it would be somewhere different every year. And I would take my kids and we would go down and help. We'd bring like food and water and go through our clothes, what didn't fit us anymore or we didn't want anymore, and bring that as well. And she had this whole setup where they had grills going. They were making a full on Christmas breakfast.
Wow.
So we did that a couple of Christmas mornings, and that was amazing. I love doing that, and kind of bummed I'm not there this year. They didn't do it last year because of COVID, but we did get to do it twice, and what a gift that was to my kids to
Yeah.
see, like, wow, look at the difference we're making. Look how happy these people are to get a home cooked meal
Yeah.
out under a bridge somewhere,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
and to watch them go through the clothes, and they're like, mommy, she picked out that jacket you brought, and or something, they'd be so excited.
Yeah.
And my one daughter, the first year we went, she was packing up to go meals for everyone, like to have extras, and it was such a beautiful experience, like way better than opening gifts that morning.
Yeah. Sometimes when my wife and I would do it, and my first wife too, the kids would get more involved than we thought they would. And to see them
Mhm.
doing it's like, okay, we just thought it'd just be this little thing, and they're turning this big production. And
Right.
kids have a natural, caring, giving heart.
They do.
And so getting kids ready for the holidays, trying to keep reminding them it's not about what you get, it's not about the latest
Mhm.
trend or latest technology toy. It's about giving. And like what you said, your kids went and bought presents for each other. We do that too. And
Mhm.
when years are tight financially, we'd say, okay, what can you make that person?
Exactly.
And one year we did, my first wife and I, we did that too. Nothing can be store and bought. All has to be made from stuff at home. And
Mhm.
so these kids, our kids are like, of course, they're thinking outside of the box. Like, what about this? Well, you can't really make that. You're only limited what's here in the house, what you can find.
Right.
So it's interesting to see how they finally found something and figured it out, and then how they could make it for that person that they picked out of the hat.
That's really neat. I love that.
And
My
so,
middle daughter, sorry.
yeah, so it's like they got to really see what it took to make something and put it in, and then see their expressions of how it was. That's exactly what I needed. How did you know?
That's so neat.
Yeah. And what about your
I
middle
love homemade
daughter?
gifts.
Yeah.
Oh, my middle daughter just today was she has a bracelet making kit, and she was making bracelets and doing homemade Christmas cards for all her friends back in San Diego. She's going to be mailing them out.
Oh, cool.
And I just love homemade gifts. Like, one of my sisters is the best gift giver ever,
Hmm.
and my most favorite gift she ever gave me, and it usually is something homemade. And one of my most favorite things she gave me, she was really into photography at the time. And she went, and my dad had already passed, and she went and took pictures of three things he always took us to.
Oh, wow.
And they were black and white, and one was a simple ice cream cone because they always took us to this place called Friendly's back home to get ice cream. One was a simple black and white picture of a monkey bar at a playground because
Mm-hmm.
he took us to the playground all the time. And the other, she went into the bowling alley that we used to always go to and asked if she could just set up a couple of pins and a bowling ball to take a picture of.
Mm-hmm.
And they let her. And so it's just these three simple pictures: an ice cream cone, the monkey bars at the playground, and because he called us his little monkeys, and the bowling because he always took us candlepin bowling. And
Oh,
she
wow.
framed it in this beautiful frame. Didn't cost her much to do, but the amount of heart that went into that gift, like I'm teary-eyed right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the best gift I've ever gotten.
Mm-hmm.
I love that kind of stuff. And, so many people put price tags on it. How much did you spend? Why would I want this gift? It only cost
Right.
$10.
Mm-hmm.
And I just do my best to not have people like that in my life because I'm not a materialistic person. I want something to come from the heart. My son is only 5 years old. He'll be 6 in a couple of weeks. And he asked me this morning, Mommy, I want to get you a Christmas gift. I said, well, that's really nice of you, honey, but you don't have to. And he's like, but I want to. I said, okay, well, you could just make me a card
Mm-hmm.
or draw me a picture. You don't have to go out of your way to spend money or do anything like that. And
Yeah.
he was like, really? Okay. So we'll
Yeah.
see what he comes up with. But I said, or just go outside. And I love nature. Find me a pretty rock,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Yeah.
Does not have to be anything fancy in my mind. It just has to come from the heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, some of my older kids are struggling with that. Like, we gotta get you something. It's like, no, just come and hang out for a weekend. That's all I need.
Right.
That's all I ask. Just give me that. Make that my Christmas present. Or if you just come and we just hang out. We don't even need to have presents.
That's how I feel, for sure.
As you get older, you realize that you don't need all that stuff. Like you said, it's just materialistic stuff. It's just stuff that you got to move or deal with later on in time.
It has been many years since Matt and I have gotten each other gifts. I think we did it the first 2 or 3 Christmases together, and then we're
Mm-hmm.
like, do you want to continue to do this? All it does is stress us out. We don't always even love what each other got each other because we only did it to do it.
Right.
And so we both decided, you know what, we just want experiences together, like for birthdays and holidays,
Right.
and we do our best to raise our kids that way. And because we have been traveling for the last 3 years, we have been a little more like, okay, well, they get experiences pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get them a few little gifts for Christmas, but we really limit it. It's especially since we're in the RV and space is very limited.
Right. Yep.
Um, my actual favorite Christmas with my kids was our first year in the RV, where it was like, okay, I do have to be very concise in what I get them. It has to be able to fit. They have to want it. And they got 3 gifts and a tiny little stocking with candy or whatever, but
Right.
they each got 3 gifts, but it was something they really would use or want. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I can't remember exactly how we did it, if it was Santa brought 1 gift and Mommy and Daddy got 2 or the other way around, and we've stuck with that since then. We're like, okay, no more than 3 gifts. This year we are stable. We have
Mm-hmm.
been in this campground for a few months now, and we still will be for at least a few more months. So we were like, all right, this year we can do an experience. So we ended up getting them ski lift passes,
Oh,
Mount
wow.
Hood, because we're very close to Mount Hood.
Right.
And that's for all of us. And so they know that's their gift this year. Like, that is above and beyond. And because we usually do not spend a lot of money either
Right. Yeah. That's.
on the gifts. But this is because it's an experience that's going to last us a full year
Mm-hmm.
if we end up staying here the whole year. But at least through the winter, we're going to be here and we'll use them. And it came with lessons for each of the kids, a couple of lessons each, because they've never snowboarded or skied or
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of fun.
so it's going to be a huge experience for them. So we were happy to spend more money than we normally would.
Right. Yeah.
in the name of experiences.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to materialistic things, I'm like, I literally, that one year I just told you about where they got 3 gifts each for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
I spent about $150 total on the whole family. Like,
Yeah.
it just didn't, they didn't need anything expensive.
No.
And the things they're into, little art projects or something, it was all good. And they really are growing up with a sense of like, it's not about the money.
Right. That's where a lot of parents, even us parents, we get so lost in the materialistic and keeping up with the Joneses syndrome that
Oh, you really do. It's
that
hard not to.
yeah. Even
I remember
for
when my nieces and nephews were little.
uh-huh.
Sorry, I just cut you
You're
off, but
fine.
I'm
We get so caught up that even sometimes
oh,
that year that we didn't do presents, we just did
mm-hmm,
the manger with just a very couple basic ones. It's like a nice reminder for us. It's not about that. It's about the little things.
absolutely.
We don't need to go spend $400 or $500 on the new gaming system or clothes, or whatever. And
That's what I was gonna say. Is I remember when my nieces and nephews were little. I had no children of my own, and Tickle Me Elmo came out that year.
oh gosh,
And there were literally people spending hundreds of dollars for this one toy because their kid just had to have it.
oh yeah, I
I
remember
was
the
like,
fights.
no kid needs something like that. And literal fights in the stores, Black Friday. I
Mm-hmm.
refuse to do Black Friday, refuse. And I remember sitting there going, wow, when I have kids, they will never, ever get something just because it's the in thing that year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on a Cabbage Patch Kid or Tickle Me Elmo or anything else. And I am not getting in a fight with somebody at the store for it.
Yeah,
It's
no,
crazy.
no, exactly.
Like you're getting, the society's getting way off track when that's happening.
Yeah, no, no, I agree, 100%. We get so caught up in it as parents. Sometimes we do it out of guilt because we weren't there
Hmm.
for the kids during the year or missed something or whatever, or because we didn't have when we're younger, so we're trying to make up for what we didn't get as kids.
Right.
And you don't want the
Oh,
kids.
definitely. I definitely know some people who have gone to the extremes because they were poor as a kid and so then
Mm-hmm.
made sure their kids had 10 times more than what they needed
Yeah,
or could even want.
yeah. So to get your kids ready for Christmas, you gotta talk to them. Like we say repeatedly on the show, talk to them. Ask them what Christmas is about.
Hmm.
If you haven't started a tradition of something like Beth and I, we do the cookies. We did it last year when we moved into our new house.
Oh, nice.
We'll probably do it again this year. Nice that there's not as many neighbors, though. I guess for a lot of baking, 30 houses you're making for, and you want at least 3, 4 different things on the plate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's very generous.
Oh, yeah.